Gear Whore, the AV Slut.
Scotch, baby. Gear Whore. This episode is we're gonna talk about, in my opinion, man. I'm gonna say this shit. I might get a lot of fucking feedback on this shit. I don't know. Nobody watches my fucking channel. I don't give a fucking shit. But anyways, stop fucking around with the goddamn camera settings, right? Cause this shit fucked my shit up. I'm gonna tell you why. Now there's this thing, man. I'm like, how do you get the cinema look? How do you get the cinema look? How do you get the cinema look, right? How do you get a better look out of your camera? Which is what everybody wants to know, because that's what they want to know. But me, personally, I think that I have been bamboozled by these other motherfuckers on YouTube who, I trust them because I'm new. I'm new to this shit. But then at the same time, I got bamboozled. And I'm going to talk to the homies that right now are like, straight up, dude. And I appreciate that you're putting videos out there and shit because we're trying to learn and your videos help us. But here's my opinion on that fucking shit, right? Because I'm keeping it real también, you know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real. That was a West Side, by the way. Is that some videos are like, the best camera settings to get cinema for your GH4, right? So you're like, fuck, alright, whatever. And any variation of that, right? And you're like, alright, fuck. I'm thinking, alright, well, I gotta do that fucking shit because I don't fucking know what the hell I'm doing. But essentially, dude, they're basically taking one of your, I'm gonna keep it from my perspective, right? They're taking your, put it on, Cinema D, and let's knock off the saturation 5 and knock on the contrast 2 and increase the brightness 1. Wait, 1.5. And basically they're just like taking one of the settings on the camera and they're fucking around with that shit. And basically you end up with a fucked up image, bro. And they're saying like, oh, well, so you can fuck with it in post, man. I'm like, you know what? I'm keeping it real with you guys, man. I was gonna buy the vlog setting, the Cinema L. I don't remember the fucking one that is supposed to shoot the flat mode for the GH4, the vlog or the L log. I don't know, some fucking shit. It's like $100 and you buy that shit and it shoots it flatter and it's supposed to have more dynamic range and what was that. And I was gonna do it and I was like researching it. I'm like, well, fuck, maybe it might really make my shit better, whatever. And I came to the conclusion, man, I'm like, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, man. Fuck that shit, man. Are you telling me I spent like $1,200 on this fucking camera and then I gotta buy another fucking $100 to make it work better? The fuck what, dude? Nah, man. Fuck, I'm thug life, baby. And then I was starting to research it a little bit more, and then I came to the conclusion, baby, that because I concluded this shit, and I may be wrong, but this is my conclusion, this is my opinion, man. This is my channel, and I'm keeping it raw, baby, baby, raw. And so, anyways, here's the thing, man. You're taking an image on the camera. And you're making it basically more flat, right? More flat. So there's less contrast and la chingada. Why? Because then you're going to put it in your computer and in post-production you're going to fuck with it and give it more of a fucking contrast or whatever. So you're like, in audio land, because I think like in audio terms, right? So you're like EQing that shit so nothing sounds like anything. And then in post, you're gonna fucking re-EQ that shit and add some fucking reverb. So in analogy, it's like in audio land, there's this thing where like they want to isolate everything. They want to isolate every instrument, and then when they get it, they're gonna mix it to make it sound like live, right? Because they're gonna have the reverb, they're gonna have this EQ and shit, and by isolating, that's an analogy, right? But I, on shit, I'm kind of blanking right now, but the engineer that did Michael Jackson, Sweden something. Fuck, I'm kind of blanking out on this right now, but basically the engineer that did Michael Jackson, his philosophy was like record it right the right way in the beginning. So he didn't do the isolation shit. His philosophy was like just place the mics, get the right mic for the right job, place it well, get good, check the best sound you can get, and that's what it is. And get it live. And and reading the book, the Sweden method, right, for audio, it kind of like when I was starting to go and researching this shit, I was like, wait a minute, man, I should just do the Sweden method, man, the Sweden method, man. And sure enough, man, I'm like, you know what, fuck that shit. There was this guy on YouTube who was like doing the comparisons, and his vlog looked like the flat one with the grading looked the best, but then you had to like overexpose it like a couple stops, and I'm like, man, just hear me out here, hear me out, right? You got a camera that you spent all this fucking money for, and then you gotta pay $100 to I'm talking about the GH4, by the way. You gotta spend $100 to get this extra mode, right? Vlog mode, or what the fuck it's called. And then you gotta shoot it a couple stops brighter, overexpose it, so then you could take that shit into post and then fuck with it in post. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. But here's the practicality of it. You gotta shoot it 2 stops brighter, so then it's like, well, what the fuck does my image look like when I'm recording? It's gonna look fucked up. So I'm like, okay. So I just get used to it looking at it fucked up. And then I get it in the fucking computer, and then I gotta fuck with it some more. So it's just like, it just adds more to the workflow. And, if you got, and then you got like all these LUTs and shit that you got, like these profiles that you're gonna put to that shit. I'm like, man, this just started looking like a fucking headache, bro. Now, if you work in Hollywood and you do that shit and they pay you money to do all that fucking shit and get a headache, then that's cool. Then, hey, cool, man. Sasuke, you're getting paid to get a headache. But for me, like, if I'm gotta do my own shit, which I do, you know what I'm saying? Whether I do my own project or I'm working on somebody else's project, whatever, and I gotta do it, I'm like, man, I don't. First of all, like, I'm not a millionaire right now. I want to become a millionaire, and I will become a millionaire hopefully in the future because I'm confident in myself. But I don't have an unlimited budget to get the best camera, to get the best computer, to get the best lens. Blah, blah, blah. I need something that fucking works, that I can fucking work with, and I could get it, and I could get it. And that means that there might be some compromises that I need to do in order to be able to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like, okay, I'm gonna compromise. I'm gonna get a manual fucking lenses to save money because I don't have money for the autofocus. But I know that if I could just fuck with it, I'll figure it out, right? That's a compromise. Or saying that, okay, well, get the GH4. It fucking crops like a motherfucker, but I'm gonna get that shit because it's more affordable than the C100, right? That's a compromise on budgets. Whatever. But that being said, like, even though I'm gonna compromise it, I don't want to make it even harder, right? Like, how harder does it need to get? Because in the real world, it's like you gotta turn in projects. You gotta finish the shit, and you gotta turn it in, man. The fucking real world isn't gonna wait for you. They don't understand, like, the rendering. They don't understand the shit that goes in on the back end. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that shit. There's like, okay, well, I paid you this much money, or you did that shit for me, or whatever. Like, where is it? How come it's not on YouTube already? Like, come on, man, what the fuck? So that shit becomes a pain in the ass. So you want something that works as best as you can afford it to work. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to get extra headaches, at least in my opinion. So where am I going with this? I'm gonna tell you. Is I kind of forgot what the fucking title of this video was. Holy shit. Fucking it. Oh, right. Stop fucking with the settings, right? So here's the thing, man. And I was listening to some other fucking guy, some other shit on YouTube, and they're like, 8-bit and 10-bit are not really that. There's not really that much of a difference or whatever until you start like fucking with it in post. And I was thinking like, well, fuck. If 10 bits gives you more leeway to fuck with it in post, if you just got it good in the beginning, you wouldn't have to fuck with it in post. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have to fuck with it in post. And you would just, you know what I'm saying, just get it good the first like the Sweden method, get it right, record it right when you get it, and then you just fucking move on. Instead of trying to fuck with it and recreate a type of look, because I was like looking at this YouTuber and they were doing this California sun look and it looked good, but it was just like, man, you gotta add this filter, then you gotta do fucking this, and you gotta fucking that, you gotta fucking that. It's like, Cholo, I'm like, no, like, damn, Cholo, like, I don't want to be working on this shit for a year. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. I mean, if you're a professional fucking see, here's what I'm saying. It's like, I look at it like as audio, right? So if you're the mastering engineer, then you have to fuck with it to make sure it levels. That's cool. But when you're like fuck withing it to fuck with it, it's just like it takes it to another level, man. Where it's like, because I see shit on YouTube where like, why use this? I changed all these fucking settings because I didn't like the skin tone que la chingada. And then you look at it and you're like, well, it looks like shit. What the hell was that guy talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, the whole fucking point to this shit is that I changed my camera to just make it, take all the fucking stupid shit I put on there. So everything's 0. No fucking -5, no -2, no motherfucker that shit. And what is it? Cinelike V. So I'm just shooting on Cinelike V, the best shit I can get, fuck it. And I shot this shit for my work, whatever. And it was just like a fun little video, whatever. And I shot on the stupid kit lens, but it was in the daylight, and some of this shit looked pretty good, and I could tell some of the shit was blown out. I could tell some of the shit was out of focus. But I wasn't actually in the video. I wasn't actually using the camera. But for what it was just like this easy fucking video, and it looked pretty good. The average person's like, damn, that shit looks pretty fucking good. And now it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I just edited that night, and it was boom, no sauce, whatever. Obviously, if someone's paying me, I'm going to spend more time on that shit and whatever, but do you really want to fucking spend like 5 hours trying to figure out how to fuck with this shit to make it look good when you could just try to do it as best as you can in the camera? I mean, all the dynamic range and like fucking shit. I was like, well, fuck, man, like, how hard do you have to fucking make it on yourself just to fucking do it? Because you think about it, it's like all these films, all these real fucking films, all these real cinema shit that got Academy Awards. They did it and they got Academy Awards. It's like, man, like, did they have digital cameras? No. Were they fucking with this shit in post? No. Like, they had like real film where they had to like cut and tape and figure that fucking shit out, and all they had was the fucking film. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's what they had. That's what they fucking had. The best they fucking had. And we're like in this fucking age where we got all this fucking shit fucking given to us, all this great technology given to us, fuck it, and we still have to fuck with it? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It really questions the human ingenuity, right? It really questions the human ingenuity, man. It really does. You know? And so you got to get to a point where, like, the aesthetic shouldn't be the quality of the resolution or the dynamic. The aesthetic should be the fucking how well we're able to execute an idea. You know what I'm saying? And I was watching this YouTube on that Casey neighbor. I don't remember the famous YouTube guy that wears the Oakley glasses, and he was saying like something shit that kind of, it was like a lighthouse. It was like a lighthouse, and he was just saying, man, like fuck the gear, man. The gear don't matter, man. This motherfucker got his fucking film festival, and he shot that shit on a fucking, I don't know what the fuck he shot that shit on, but he was giving an example, right? And he was showing his gear, and a lot of that shit is not super clean shit. And yet he's got like he's the most successful YouTube vlogger in history or whatever. And he had his own show on HBO and all this fucking shit. And I was like, dude, that guy, Sasuke, is telling the truth, man. Shout outs to that Cholo, if you're watching. And I was like, I like that shit, man. I like that shit. Because it's, remember, you got to keep it real. It's like, on what, it's like you have to fucking do the best with what you got. Right? In my case, I'm doing the best with what I have. The issue what I have right now is that I'm having trouble with wide angles, and I'm having trouble with low light with the GH4. I'm trying to figure out a solution. Because, you know, right now I'm not able to execute the fucking shit that I have in my head. The shit that I have in my head is some wide angle shit. You know what I'm saying? But I have to fucking try to figure out how to execute this shit in my head. So I'm not trying to be like, oh well, they got that fucking the light and que la chingada looks like a cinema. No, fuck this shit. The cinema looks like a cinema because of the way you execute your idea. You know what I'm saying? You know, shit. Give me a fucking iPhone and I'll fucking shoot a movie. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But it needs to follow the vision that I have in my head. If it's too much of a compromise, then it's not really following the shit that I have in my head, my vision, my artistic vision. So I need the tools to fulfill my artistic vision. But it's, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there is like this give and take, you know what I'm saying? But it shouldn't be like, you know, like debilitating, you know what I'm saying? Because I was talking to my, alright, last shit, I was talking to the homie at work, the photographer, the famous photographer, and he was telling me, he was like, man, like, you know, I know some guys that have like the most expensive shit, and they don't know what to do with it, and there's some guys that have like just some crude ass shit, and they're getting the best pictures. So that kind of sums it up in a nutshell what the fuck I'm trying to say in this video. So, if you are watching this video and you've been watching other videos and you're trying to improve the performance of your camera or whatever, and I'm gonna tell you straight out, like, you know what? Shoot it in standard mode, man. Shoot it in standard mode. Try to get the best shot you can. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Because I feel like it's like this fucking penis inferiority, you know, where you start to get like really fucking anal on your fucking dick size. You know what I'm saying? That's like a metaphor, you know, but it's like, damn, Cholo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I mean, did you get a nice shot? Did you get the project done? Is it out there? Are people be able to watch it? You know what I'm saying? Thanks for watching Gear Whore. Gustavo Adolfo Uribe. Stop fucking with the goddamn camera settings. Just shoot that shit.